Win a Pageant, episode 62. I created this step-by-step process after training thousands of women across the U.S. to win. Now you can have access to these winning strategies when you join me every Wednesday. Let's win a pageant. Hey girl, welcome back to the Win a Pageant podcast. I'm your coach, Alycia Darby, and over the last month or so, I have been just filling up on this concept of vision. First, our church has been talking about vision for the church and how we're able to help build that over the last several weeks. And then this weekend, my coach actually hosted our quarterly mastermind, and it was all about how to develop vision and how after developing vision, you can use it to impact your actions to kind of get you there way faster. So what's cool is that this weekend I had the opportunity, my fiance, Randy, and I had a really great conversation about how we see the vision for our future together and how we can help others, how we can impact people, not just in our friendship group or in our community, but in our church, in our neighborhood, our clients, through business, even podcast listeners like you. And this experience was just such a great reminder to start with the end in mind in order to take action to really just create your ultimate sense of happiness. So what I want to anchor this back to is Proverbs 29:18, which says, "Where there is not vision, the people will perish." And then what I find really interesting is that it goes on to say, "But happy are the people that keep the law." And what's so interesting to me about that is that it first talks about vision. So it says, where there is not vision, the people will perish. But then it anchors the vision to the actions that are taken, but happy people are those that keep the law. So the people that are actually acting within the constraints of where that vision is going to be taking them, those are the people that are happy. And so it's bringing in that emotional piece, that happiness, and how the actions lead to happiness and take you further down that path to vision. So vision is what drives action. And without vision, the actions are kind of all over the place. You know, you're running left and right instead of really just staying the course to the end goal toward your ultimate vision. And I know that I'm not telling you anything radically new, but I want to help you see this as it relates to your pageant. You may have even created a vision board before or something like that. So what I'm going to share with you today in this episode is how you can apply the pageant vision to your pageant experience so that you can actually achieve that ultimate success. When you have a vision, you can inspire the people around you to join your movement, to follow this path with you. And without vision, you perish. You get all caught up in the details. You think about all the things that you're not doing, or you compare yourself to all the other girls out there. You just don't have a path to truly walk down, and you get lost in the sauce, okay? Now, I will say every successful pageant woman has a vision. So if you talk to the greats in the Miss USA system and the Miss America system and you boil it all down, they know what they're after. They know what they're really, really wanting their life to look like. That's their ultimate vision, and you've got to have one too. So in this episode, I'm going to break down the 5 steps that you're going to use to create your ultimate pageant vision. The first step in this 5-step process is awareness. Now, you've probably heard before that you are a product of the 10 people that you spend the most time with. Well, the same is true in every area of your life. So you are what you eat, but you also are what you consume. You are what you read. You are what you say. You are how you think. You are how you behave. You are the people who you spend your time with. So we're going to start this process by just taking inventory of what is currently influencing your pageant prep process. Now, as we go through this awareness exercise, I don't want you to judge yourself at all, okay? So it's strictly about awareness. We can always change these things moving forward. You have to just know what is going on. I want you to be honest. I don't want you to say, oh, I wish it wasn't like, oh, whoopsies, oh, no. No, okay? Don't even do that to yourself right now because it's going to drive you crazy. Instead, just step away, like maybe even envision yourself like as though you're floating outside of your body and you're just looking down like you're watching yourself in a movie. And you're going to create a list of the top 10 influencers of your pageant vision in 5 different categories. The first category is the people that influence your pageant vision. This could be your boss or your colleagues, your boyfriend, your mom, your sorority sisters, your roommate, your husband, your coach, maybe your best friend, or even the competition. So I want you to think about who are the people that are really influencing your pageant vision or your pageant experience right now, currently as it is. The second thing we're going to look at is where you're getting information. So think about the top 10 sources of information about your pageant experience. This could be from your pageant director or your coach. It might be from a mentor. It might be from podcasts that you listen to, books that you read, Voy forums, magazines, YouTube videos, TV shows, radio, books, newspaper, whatever it is. I want you to make a list of the top 10 areas that you're getting information from about your pageant. The next topic is the images that you are seeing in relationship to your pageant. So what is influencing you? What's informing you in terms of images? So this might be things you see on Instagram, who you're following. It might be your own space, so your living room, your kitchen. It might be when you open the refrigerator, if that's something that you do, is the top 10 things, maybe your refrigerator is really influencing you. It could be the image you have on your laptop. It could be even the people that you are around, like what's in their vibe. When you go over to your friend's house, what are you seeing there? Okay, so think about the top 10 images. What's in your environment that's influencing your pageant vision? Next, think about your actions, the actions that you are actually taking, your habits, okay? So things that might be influencing your pageant vision are your posture or slouching, maybe your yoga practice, flipping your hair, maybe you eat chicken 3 times a day, maybe you're walking in heels constantly, maybe the blisters on your feet, the way that you do your hair every morning, how you are practicing your makeup, things like that. Think about the habits, the actions that you are taking, not the actions you want to be taking yet. This is an awareness exercise, so we actually want to look at the actions you are currently taking that are influencing your pageant experience. And then finally, let's think about the phrases or the words that you are saying on a regular basis. So do you say things like totally or so good? I know. Yep. Oh, she is so, or I can't even. I love you, or I'm so proud of, or I'm happy to. Okay, so think about the things that you are saying on a regular basis as related to your pageant experience. The goal is to have your top 10 in each of these categories so that you really have a clear picture of what's currently influencing you. Now, it may take 20 minutes or so to do just this part, so if you want to go ahead and pause this audio to go for it right now, please do. After the awareness exercise, our next step is to do an assessment of where we're currently at. Now, you're going to assess the value each of these bring or pull from your life. So everything in your environment holds a positive or negative impact on you. It's either going to add to your life or take from it. So, when you're around someone that's just super negative and it's just so darn draining, like you feel exhausted at the end of a conversation with them, or you're constantly fighting to get out of it or something like that. But then you get around a positive Patty and you're on cloud 9, you feel great, you're like pumped up on life, you all of a sudden have all the cobwebs cleared from your mind and you're just excited, The same thing that you experience with those two people happens to your judges to an extreme level. They really are very in tune with the energy that you bring into an interview room or even just to the stage performance. Because they are meeting with so many women back to back to back to back, all the women are beautiful. They all have got incredible skills. They all have a stunning wardrobe. The thing that's going to stand out the most is their individual energy. So we're going to go back through the list that you just created. Next to everything that you wrote down, you're going to either put a plus sign or you're going to cross it out. You're going to use a plus sign next to the things that add positivity, abundance, happiness, joy, fruitfulness, everything phenomenal to your life. And then you're going to cross off the things that weigh you down, that tear you up, that add problems or suck energy from you. Okay, draw a line through those things. Now, when you look at your list, you have an idea of where your current vision already sits, okay? Because if you don't have a conscious vision that you've already developed, then whatever's happening around you is going to create the vision for you. So when you step back and look at what you've already created, that's the path you're headed down. Of course, our hope is to have more plus signs, more things adding joy and adding fabulousness to our life than those sucking energy and pulling from your life. Now that you have an understanding and awareness and an assessment of where you have already stood in the past, I'm putting a stake in the ground right now for your future, because now you have the opportunity to develop your vision of true pageant success, okay? Keep that paper still, but I want you to get out a whole new piece of paper, and you're going to write down the 10 things that you want in your pageant vision in each category that you completed before. So people, sources of information, images, actions, words, or phrases. Okay, so those 5 categories. Now, you will likely, for example, want to surround yourself with people that are uplifting and successful pageant women, maybe a positive pageant coach, some supportive friends, people who get you, maybe other pageant girls in your local area or nationally. You may want to gather information from credible sources or get book recommendations for uplifting and informative reading. Maybe you want a beautiful new pair of Jonathan Canes or a closet that every time you open it up, it's full of the latest fashions and some fancy pageant gowns, You may want to be able to create your makeup like a pageant pro, start your day with fresh squeezed orange juice, Okay, maybe you want to just walk in heels more, or you want to just learn how to dance so that you can nail that opening number. Maybe you want to just start standing with confidence. You might even think in terms of language, the words and phrases that you're using. What are you using to describe your experience? Would you rather build people up and be able to discuss your successes easily without guilt, and just be a joy for other people to be around, okay? These are the kind of things that I want you really thinking about, okay? How can you become the woman that you are meant to be to win this pageant? And I want you to spend some time on this, maybe another 20 minutes or so. Really get into the vision of what you believe is your absolute best self, pageant crown and all. Now you've got your vision down, you've developed it, you have an understanding of what it would really look like. It's time for the creation step. In this step, you are going to actually trick your mind into believing that this vision is already in front of you so that your brain and your body will start moving toward it. Okay, this is like a psychology thing that it actually works. Believe it or not, there's many people, all of the greats have used this strategy. And the idea is, I'm sure not new to you, it's the power of a vision board. So a vision board is basically a collage of images that build your life in the direction that you actually want to head. So it's a manifestation, a visual of all the things that you want to develop in your life. The old school version of a vision board was to go through a bunch of magazines and books and to cut out images that really reflected your vision and then to paste them all together on a poster board and post it somewhere that you will see on a regular basis. The new vision board, the easiest way I have found to do it, and what my fiance and I did this weekend, is we actually just got on the good old Googler and we Googled images that reflected our top 10 things in each area. So areas that we wanted to call into our lives, we Googled images that represented that. So for you, what I want you to do is Google things that represent what you want to develop. So maybe you want to start eating healthy. So you might Google images of healthy juices or recipes or a cookbook or something that you want to eventually get. If you want to hire a coach who you've had your eyes on forever, Google things that will bring that into your existence. Maybe you have a certain dollar amount of money that you need to make in order to apply it to your pageant. Write that number down. That's a goal that you want to achieve, and it's a part of the big vision of what's going to help everything come into fruition for you. Maybe you've got a sponsor that you really want to work with. Put their logo on your vision board so that you're constantly reminded of them, and your brain will envision that in your mind as though it's already come true. And so your actions will start to align with that vision. You may find it easier to do something like a Pinterest vision board. Some people find a lot of success in creating a digital vision board, and that is a-okay. For me, it has always worked best to create it as an actual like physical element in my environment, and you'll learn why in the next step. But for this step, I really just want you to do something that's going to be easiest for you. If it's maybe even, here's another idea that could be kind of fun, is to put a visual on a note card and put the note cards somewhere where you always see them, like in your car or something. And every time you get in your car, you just quickly flip through each of those note cards. That's another way of doing it. So it doesn't have to be super stringent in how this works. I want you to create a way that works best for you. Then we jump into the final step. Step number 5 is placement. Now, ideally, your vision board would go somewhere that you will see it at the beginning of every day. Early in the morning, when we first wake up, our brains have these tiny little baby neurons that were formed overnight. And in the morning, whatever they latch onto first thing in the morning, whatever you see. So if you are like many people and you wake up and you start scrolling through social media, right before you get out of bed, or you wake up and you're watching, hideous news articles or something like that about all the bad things that happen overnight. Whatever you're doing to your mind, it's latching on and it's going to grow in that direction. So what we really want to do to make the most of this vision is to place your vision board wherever you're nearby your bed, if you possibly can. For us, we put ours in our actual bedroom so that when we first wake up in the morning, our little baby neurons are being trained for a life of awesomeness. And that's what you want to do. You want to create this vision for your life. Every single day, you want to be able to see this vision. The more that you see it, the more that you really are allowing your mind to wrap around it, the far more likely you are to take actions toward these efforts and to notice in your life the things that you do need to cut out, those lines we drew through, so that you're able to create room for more positivity. Eventually, you will become the woman that you desire to be, the woman who you know is positioned to win this pageant. Because without a vision, the people perish. But with a vision, the sky's the limit, girl. And that, my dear, is how you win a pageant. Once you've created your vision board, I would love to see it. So if you would be interested in posting it on social media, that'd be awesome. Instagram and Facebook are my 2 best places. If you post it with the hashtag #WinAPageant, or you can tag Win a Pageant on Facebook, then I'd love to check it out and give you any feedback that I have or further connect you to help make your vision a reality. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next Win a Pageant Wednesday. Hey there, I'm Alycia Darby, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching that last video. If you totally loved it and got something from it, would you just click subscribe right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel? Hey, I am here for you, and I've got so many more trainings and videos for you. In fact, this one would be a really great one to watch next. Or if that topic doesn't interest you, then try this one. It's my most recent video training. So I think both of these would be really great for you. Thank you again so much for subscribing. I am honored to be your coach. I'll see you again soon.